What are trust issues? How do you recognize them in the two relationship categories, which are professional relationships and personal relationships? According to very well minded website, psychologist Eric Erickson developed a theory that suggested that the earliest years of life were all about learning whether the people around you could be trusted with your care and safety. And I believe him. Because think about it. When we first enter into personal relationships, we are babies, and the people around us have to take care of us and keep us safe. They have to feed us, change us, wash us, and so on. We as babies don't have the knowledge that we are being cared for correctly. So therefore, we have no control or awareness of trusting the people around us. But as we grow and begin to understand our surroundings, we become aware of the care we are receiving and whether it gives us safety and comfort. We are able to determine if we can or can't trust the people around us to keep us safe under the care. According to Very Well Mind website, Erickson also suggested that whether you'll learn this trust or mistrust, it played a fundamental role in future development. I will have to agree with him in this. Because as we socially grow and develop our own independencies, we engage in our own personal and professional relationships and are able to determine right from wrong. We are able to decide whether to trust or not trust certain situations in those relationships. With that being said, how many of you has or had a form of trust issues in your relationships? Whether it be a personal relationship or professional relationship. If you are not raising your hand or saying yes, then you are in denial. Trust issue in relationships can stem from any number of sources. To broadly speak, it doesn't matter what source it stems from. It will either be in a personal or professional manner. For example, you're an employee of a huge corporation and you were a victim of sexual harassment from a supervisor. Will you trust remaining in your position that the harassment will stop? Will you trust that if you told someone and it will stop and not cause any retaliations? Or will you quit with harbored feelings that causes you to have trust issues? Moving forward, your professional trust has been questioned. You recognized the wrong in the situation and it made you feel unsafe. Well, this actually happened to a woman who worked at Burlington Industries. According to Legal Information Institute, a case Burlington Industry versus Ellerth. Kimberly Ellerth quit her job after 15 months as a salesperson in one of Burlington Industries because she has been subjected to constant sexual harassment by one of her supervisors, Ted Slowick. She put her professional trust in the company and was betrayed. Her safety and security was ripped away the first moment of the sexual harassment. She was also sued by Burlington Industry and nearly lost the case. Do you think it is going to be easy for her to enter in another professional relationship with Burlington Industry? No, not B. Why? Because she has acquired trust issues with that corporation. How about another professional relationship you may have with doctors? Say that you are scheduled for surgery. The doctor that is to perform your surgery has a good history and an A plus rating. You were able to have a few visits with him prior to the surgery, so you felt safe and comfortable under his care. Let's speed up to the day of your surgery. You and the doctor have previously went over the procedure steps before, during, and after. Therefore, he knew exactly what is to be done, so you trusted him. While performing the surgery, he realizes that he performed it on the wrong side, and it calls for emergency plan to correct it. By this happening, you are now in a coma. When you when you come out of the coma, the doctor explains to you what happened, and what happened in your aftercare plans has changed. It's a matter of life or death now. You need another surgery. Are you going to trust that doctor to perform any other surgeries? No, you're not. A real situation occurred at Rhode Island Hospital. According to Linton Law, medical negligence occurred by neurologists on three different patients. These catastrophic medical mistakes were made by performing wrong site surgeries on all three patients' heads in 2007. Two were caught early enough to cause and correctly treat, but one was killed as a result of the negligence. Think about what the two patients that survived. Do you think they will trust those neurologists to perform any other head surgeries? Probably not. How about the loved ones of the deceased? Do you think they will trust you? Any surgeon at Rhode Island Hospital? Probably not. Rhode Island Hospital neurosurgeons broke the law of trust with those patients and their families. They trusted the professional relationship of the surgeons and it backfired. It may be easier to walk away from a mistrusted professional relationship, but not so easy for a personal relationship. According to Google, our trust issue comes from our own experiences. We let ourselves become vulnerable and take certain risks in our relationships. Take me, for example. I'm a risk taker. What makes me a risk taker is having relationships. Let me elaborate personally for you. I was I was in a love relationship for 2 years with a girl. This was a long distance relationship. She lives in Illinois, and of course I live in Pennsylvania. We talked and FaceTime on the phone every day and all day, literally. We tried to see each other on major holidays and birthdays. I was in love with her being. The thought of her cheating on me never crossed my mind. Boy, I was wrong. I caught her on FaceTime with another man. Here is how. She told me that her quote unquote friend was having a hotel party celebrating the November birthday crew. I knew that three of them had birthdays in November, including her. While we were on FaceTime the day of the party, she arrived at the hotel, asked if I would call her later. I said, sure. She did not disconnect the call, neither did I. I had this weird feeling come over me. My my intuition told me to stay on the phone, so I muted myself so she could not hear me. But I heard her. I heard everything from her, checking in, getting in the elevator, and into the room. She must have laid her phone upside on the desk table because I saw the ceiling of the room. About 5 minutes later, I heard her open and shut the room door and immediately heard a male voice. Mind you, it was supposed to be a hotel party between three girls, but I didn't jump into any conclusions because it could have been very innocent. He could have had been a family member or one of them. But then I started to hear flirtatious laughter and giggling. And the final straw was the moaning and kissing I heard. Then the last thing I heard before the phone was hung up was my girlfriend was saying, quote, oh shit, as if she was caught. I tried to call her back, but her phone kept going to voicemail. I was so pissed. I was so hurt and I was so confused at the moment. But when she called me the next day to try and lie about what happened, I just told her it's over and thanks, but no thanks. I couldn't stop asking why did she do me like this. It took a couple years before I let myself be vulnerable again and date. This girlfriend violated my trust. How could I ever put so much into another relationship? Well, could you if it happened to you? Probably not, but possible with some reservations. What about those personal relationships infidelities that play out in the media? I mean, the entire world can see it from beginning to end. Well, let's take Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt. These two were once married and once in love with one another. They trusted each other to bring safety and security to one another. But it all came tumbling down when Brad Pitt broke that trust and had a romantic relationship with Angelina Jolie. In an interview with a journalist, Leslie Bennett, Aniston stated, quote, "I'm lonely, upset, and confused." She also stated in the interview of her, quote, "having to do therapy. Being cheated on or lied to are major reasons that create trust issues for future romantic personal relationships. Probably 9 times out of 10, people have trust issues caused by infidelities, including you." According to Very Well Mind website, trust has been defined as a firm belief in the ability, strength, reliability, and truth of someone or something. These beliefs are expected in both personal and professional relationships we join. But at any given time or in any given instance, those beliefs are questioned. And now we are on the road of having trust issues. Why? Because our safety, security, and comfort has changed. We now understand rights from wrong. We now know what to trust or not to trust, who to trust and who not to trust. But unfortunately, our experiences have created trust issues in relationships. And if you are saying to yourself that that's not the case for you, then you are in denial. It may be the case for someone you know. That's just what I got. Lastly, I, Keyshawn Frazier, have completed all quizzes and assignments and uploaded to Blackboard. Thank you. Have a nice one.